Hello scrapbookers, Suzanne here in the studio today to show you how to get another double 12 by 12 layout from your Daisy Meadows scrapbooking workshop. Here is what I have designed. This uses up the scraps that you should have left from your workshop. Plus I've also added in the Picture My Life cards. You may or may not need to do that depending on what other kinds of embellishments you might have on hand. Let's get started by figuring out the cutting directions. If you pull out your original instructions, we will see the papers you should have had left. The first paper is the bunny paper, and you should have a 3 by 12 piece in the vertical orientation. We will use that just as is. You should also have a larger piece, 6.5 by 12, in the horizontal, going this way, the horizontal orientation, and I want you to trim that to 5.5 by 12. Okay, then we move to the exclusive papers that were included in the workshop. Of this paper, the small floral, you should have left a 3" by 12" piece. I want you to cut that in half lengthwise so that you have two 1.5 by 12 pieces. I did not have the small floral, so I substituted the large floral from the paper pack. The same is true over here on this exclusive paper. I did not have this small check, so I am substituting the plaid. And there's a 3.5 by 12" strip. I want you to cut that down to 10 inches long, and then I want you to cut on the diagonal from corner to corner to turn that into 2 triangles and save your little 2" scrap. Okay, moving along to cardstock, you should have a 2.5 by 12" piece of peach and a 3.5 by 12" piece of glacier. I want you to cut the glacier into two 1 3/4 by 12" pieces. For photo mats, I originally cut 4 photo mats at 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 and 2 at 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. You'll have to use cardstock from your stash for that. Okay? Let's get to putting those pages together. Okay, let's start with the left page. First of all, I want you to get 2 zip strips that coordinate with this paper pack. You can use any of the ones in the paper pack. And if you don't have any of those left, you should have a 1" strip left of the bunny paper, and you could use the reverse side of that, cutting it into 1/2" zip strips. So first I'm going to adhere this along the left side. Next, I'm bringing in the bunny strip. It's easy to tell that which one is the right one because it was the only one that was going vertically. I'm going to put that next. And then that peach cardstock, I'm going to put that light side up, and I'm centering it on the bunny paper. So I'd say you got maybe 3/8 of an inch on each side. Okay. Next, I'm taking the floral paper and the glacier cardstock, and I think I'm also going to have the light side of the glacier up as well. And I'm going to leave about, I don't know, 1/2 inch from the bottom for this. And then again, I'm taking the pattern paper and I'm going to center it. Across this strip. And I'd say that's maybe 1/8 of an inch on each side. Alrighty. Then that diagonal piece I had you cut, I'm going to kind of not quite center it. I'm maybe 1/3, lay it so it's 1/3. The tip of this is 1/3 of the peach cardstock. Did you see that I actually outlined this piece a little just to give it a little more oomph? So yes, about 1/3 in on the peach and about halfway up, I would say, on the glacier. Okay, then I did some photo mats. This one I did in glacier. This one I believe is in smoothie, and I'll put that over a little farther. And then this one is also in smoothie. Okay, you'll see here that this card and this card are actually from the Picture My Life set. And I have used several of these. You get quite a few of these cards to go with the paper line. So I have used one here as background. And then I have used this one down here to pair up with another 3x4 photo. And then up here, there at the bottom of this card, you see that there was a decorative glacier pattern. So I decided to leave that showing, and I placed 2 3x3 photo mats side by side. So let me get all of this put down. And here, I'm just kind of trying to tuck it into that corner, leaving myself a little white space to the left and a little white space to the bottom. And then these two at the top, I'm just going to wing it. Just kind of play around with it until I think it looks good. Again, I want my tip showing there because that really reinforces the fact that that is a triangle. Here on this little card, like I said, this is a PML card. And then you should have scraps of both your glacier and your peach. So what I did is I cut 2 little tags out, and you'll see why I did that in a minute. Okay, and then over here, since we've got this big space, for my embellishments, I'm going to use a couple of pop dots to put this nice pretty ribbon that I've tied with twine. Put that, whoops, not there, just over just a little bit, because then I also cut a flower cluster out of one of the PML cards. So let me pop that baby down on there. That way better. And then, you know, and pop enamel dot or 2 never hurt, right? So that always gives any cluster a little more finished feeling. You'll notice here, this is just a small punch I had, and since these flowers had 5 petals, I just took a real simple punch and found a scrap of paper and used it to make a little flower there. All the flowers on a layout don't have to match perfectly. Okay, let's get to page 2. Here we go. Again, we're going to start with that zip strip down the side. Again, whatever one you used on the right, just use the same on the left. And then next, I am bringing in this big bunny sheet. This should be 5.5 inches high. I tried it with the 6.5 as it was, you know, cut, and I just thought it was a little too much. I want to bring this in so at least I can line this up to know where I want this to be. And I'm lining it up with the bottom of that cardstock. Okay. Speaking of that cardstock, that goes on next. Center this. Whoops. And then we're going to bring in the other half of our rectangle that's been cut into a triangle. Here again, I'm trying to eyeball this so that it's about where it is on this page as far as where the bottom is. And then I'm just kind of going maybe a third of the way in on my vertical band on this side as well. Okay, then we are ready for our photo mats. If you don't have the Picture My Life cards, you can just do regular photo mats and then add whatever other embellishments you think you might like. Here again, I'm overlapping here, trying to eye to see that I'm, maybe need to go up just a little bit. Up here, and another photo mat. Here I couldn't decide. I really like this little 3x4 card, but I was wondering if I was having too many cards on the same page, and I thought it was important to have the bunny on both. So for now, I've temporarily adhered a little 3x4 photo mat right there. Then the other thing I did is this. You can see that real well. This was also a 3x4 card that had the tag printed on it. So I cut it down, embellished it with some flowers that I cut from another card. And then I am going to tuck this under here, and I'm going to set it on my triangle so that I know that the tilt is just the perfect angle. Okay. Other embellishments on this page will be this big bow to match the one. And this is just ribbon from my stash. You could also do a paper bow if you happen to have close to my heart's bow die. That would be really cute on this page. Put that here. Woohoo, those are sticky pop dots, let me tell you. There's that. And then excuse me while I pick up the flowers I dropped on the floor. Don't you just love live video? I'd already pop dotted these, so put that there. And a quick one down here. And that could probably use a little dot in the center of that little flower. And there you have it. There is the 2-page layout made from scraps. Why don't you leave me a comment and tell me what you think? And I will be back in another segment to show you how I did these 2 ribbons really quick too. Okay? Okay, I'm back to show you how I got that terrific bow. I first cut a piece of wide ribbon to be 15 inches long. And then I'm going to basically fold it in thirds. Then I'm going to take twine, or you could take a skinnier ribbon, and I'm going to tie a knot. For some reason, if you tie it quick, it tends to crumple more pleasingly. I know that sounds a little weird, but it does. So then when I kind of figure out, I like to have sort of the dimples going down, and then I just come back in and cut the two edges the way I want them. And then you can also make another bow on top and trim that accordingly. Easy peasy, huh? So that gives a lot of dimension with a very, very simple embellishment. You can see on the first page, I just did sort of the same thing. I just did half a bow. And again, then I cut the edges. Alrighty. Well, that's really all I have for today on the Daisy Meadows. Thanks so much for stopping by. I appreciate your time and attention. Bye-bye.